Celebrating 30 years of phenomenal trend forecasting. 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Here's Gerald Celente with today's trends in the news.
Hi, this is Gerald Celente. Friday, January 9th, 2015, and here are some of today's trends in the news. Best day for stocks in 3 weeks. Oil halts slide. U.S. stock market jumped on Wednesday. I got the days mixed up. What happened? Well, today the market's down. Yeah, 170 points. How come? Well, oil's sliding again. I mean, could you believe this? Like one day after another. It's a rigged game. Oil's down. Brent was below $50 a barrel, is barely above. West Texas still hanging around that $48 a barrel mark. So all the reasons that they're giving for the market to keep shooting up are the same reasons why it's shooting down. And gold. Gold's having a good day. As I said, gold is looking good to me lately. Tested those lows and hanging above that 1200 mark. So, with all what's going on in the markets and all the destabilization, gold is looking good. And why are the markets down? Hey, the employment numbers came out. Created 252,000 jobs. But wages went down. Yeah. Can't understand it. And not only that, you look at the Cook numbers and into them. The household survey says the total number of people employed, you ready? Fell by 476,000. Now that's what I call a recovery. Yeah, and you better recovering from being on heavy drugs if you believe that this employment number is good. Because if it was what it's being reported, even the markets would have risen on it. The declining labor force participation rate has created an additional 1.847 million young adults that are now counted as unemployed and out of work. Well, they're now counted, but they don't count them. And that brings the unemployment rate, the U6 unemployment rate for 18 to 29-year-olds at 14.4% in the USA. Yeah. And you see what's going on with this. A study came out about a week ago. Endangered species, young entrepreneurs in the U.S., the share of people under age 30 who own private businesses has reached a 24-year low. Isn't that nice? Roughly 3.6% of households headed by adults younger than 30 own stakes in private companies. That compares with 10.6% in 1989. See what's going on. But hey, the riches are getting richer. Venezuela, barrels and bonds. A barrel of Brent crude for February delivery will set you back about $50 as of yesterday. Lending to the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela is slightly cheaper these days. Its bonds change hands for $42 per $100 of their face value. The bond, unlike the barrel, has coupons and is easier to fit in a drawer. You have to wait until 2027 for the return of your principal, and the price says you might not even get that. These oil prices are wreaking havoc around the world. And you see what's going on with them? They're not going up. They're at this $50 level. It's doubtful they're going to spike. But Obama said they were. He said it yesterday. So don't buy them gas guzzlers. Remember that. He said prices of oil are going back up and spend that extra money. He also came out with a plan to bolster lagging housing sector. The job market is stirring, gas prices are plunging, and stocks are nearing record levels. But a housing sector that dragged the nation into the worst recession since the Depression remains the black spot on the otherwise resurgent economy. Who would write something like this? Well, somebody from the toilet paper. Jonathan Wiseman. Not so wise man, because gas prices are plunging because the economy stinks worldwide and demand is down. Could you add that one up? Oh no, but we'll really be stupid about this because stocks are near record levels. Hey, Jonathan, why? Because all the cheap dough that's going into them, right? So the banks can borrow the money for nothing and loan it back to us at high rates. Yeah, oh, and all of those companies buying back their stocks. Could that be why stocks are rising? No. Oh, and the housing market. That's the dark spot. And Obama's going to fix it. Why is it the dark spot? Well, as I read, young peoples ain't being entrepreneurs no more because they got no money. That's right. Yeah. They got lousy jobs. Oh, and they're in debt. But President Obama will seek to address the problem by lowering insurance rates on federally insured mortgages to first-time home buyers, minorities, and struggling Americans. It'll do nothing. And all it's going to do, if you're a struggling person and you can't afford it, this ain't going to help a lot. But hey, it makes a whole page story and it's good for propaganda. And just to make things better, those little savings that we're getting with lower oil prices, the brilliant peoples in Washington and a state near you, Wall Street Journal, lower prices spur talks of higher gas taxes. That's right. They want to raise the gas taxes. Hey, if they're paying less at the pump, we got to get our share. That's right. Big move in Washington and a number of states to screw you even more. It's the American way. And speaking of the American way, Macy's chain weighs off-price stores. Yeah, they're closing about 14 stores they just announced. What was it? Penny yesterday with 40? Sears, Staples. Macy's, Inc. is thinking about starting an off-price business for its namesake brand. A reminder that Americans remain value conscious, even though the recent holiday sales season is on track to be the strongest in 3 years. Value conscious. Get this in your head, man. They got no dough. That's why you're going lowbrow. You're trying to pick up everything you can. And Family Dollar said profits for the 3 months ended November 29th fell 46% because shoppers mainly came in to buy staples like grocery and tobaccos, both of which have thin profit margins. Sales at established stores slipped 0.4%. And when you're looking at these increase in sales of holiday sales, you're looking at razor-thin profit margins. Let's get this straight. 70% off. And why? Well, those value-conscious consumers, student loans and car sales contribute to rising consumer debt. Yeah, going deeper in debt. Federal Reserve said that consumer borrowing rose by $14.1 billion after a $16 billion increase in October. The gains have pushed consumer debt, excluding real estate loans, you ready? To a record of $3.3 trillion. And remember, Trends Journal subscribers, we have been saying that this whole car boom is a fraud. They're raping people once again playing on their having no dough and telling them that they could own something, just like Obama's going to do with trying to lower the rates on insurance from people who can't afford it. They did the same thing with the car market. We said this was another mini housing bubble. Well, here it is. Car loans see rise in missed payments. Borrowers who took out auto loans over the past year are missing payments at the highest level since the recession, fueling concerns among regulators. Regulators! Now that's a new good one. What do they regulate? They regulate your life and give the big guys a free regulators. I want to be a regulator when I grow up after I become an authority and an official. Regulators. Analysts and some in the car industry that practices that help boost 2014 light vehicle sales to a near-decade high could backfire. Well, blow me away. Never would have thought it. And just to show how bad things are around the world, worry over Chinese bonds. Kaiser Group Holdings Limited appears to have missed interest payments due on $500 million of debt held by foreign investors, several managers of funds that hold the bonds said. Yep. And they're a real estate developer. Ooh, blow me away. What a shock. The bubble has burst. It's a confidence game, a con game. And you can see what's going on. And on to some other news. Well, of course, the big news is what's going on in Paris, and they kill those two brothers and another guy, and they're looking for the woman. Now, I want to get this straight. We're talking about the grand total of 4 people. You read the history about these people, and basically from places like the Bloomberg News, hardly a left-wing institution, the police said the Kawachis are a known quantity. So they're on no-fly list. They've been watching them. Then you read a little bit more about them. They were abandoned by their parents in their youth and bounced from one institution to another, according to judicial authorities. The 2 brothers, named by French authorities, were also on a no-fly list. On and on and on. This is no surprise here. We're talking about 4 people killing 10 or 12. And again, how many people has the United States, and I should include France and the UK and Germany and Australia, killed in other countries, including Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, and the overthrow of the Assad government in Syria? So you got these kids living on nothing, having nothing, and looking for something, and having a lot of hatred in them. That is no reason to rob everyone else of their rights. It's no reason to call a war on terror, and no one in the media is pinning any responsibility of blowback for what the United States has committed over the last 13 years. Hey, remember Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction and ties to Al-Qaeda, a total fabrication, 1 million people dead, an entire country ruined. Hey, let's have Dick Cheney on television again, because why not? We're as mad as he is. We're out of our minds as much as he is. So we'll look half sane putting this clown up there. So again, the other issue here is in Europe, you cannot say a lot of things that are anti-Jewish. Just for the record, you cannot be a Holocaust denier. Right or wrong, good or bad, not the issue. But you could go after Islam. So there's a lot of sides to this story. You want to provoke, you want to poke, guess what? There's blowback. That is no reason why an entire nation and much of the Western world will continue to lose its rights because of 4 madmen and maniacs in chief that have caused the destabilization of the entire Middle East, and now they're working their way through Africa. Ron Paul on Paris attack, bad foreign policy invites retaliation. Here he goes. But they don't put him in the news. So that's it. We're going into the weekend. A lot of propaganda is going to be spewing out there. On the financial markets, we're heading into rough territory. There is nothing there to boost the economy. You're looking at places like Macy's now thinking down. Nobody's thinking up. And the fear and hysteria, it's the way to go. Don't believe me, believe this cat. Terrorism is the best political weapon, for nothing drives people harder than a fear of sudden death. Yeah. Heil Hitler. Heil Obama. Heil Hollande. Bye-bye. See you next week. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's Trends in the News.
C'è la luna, mezzo mare, mamma mia, per maradare. Figli mia, cutterara, mamma mia, pensate tu. Sitte non ya pisciolo, il va, il diventa sempre baccalà le mani.
Listen to a story about a gal I know. She's my music making mama, I'm her hillbilly beau. She's sweeter than the music when she tickles the strings, sweeter than the flowers down in New Orleans. She's my music making mama from Memphis, Tennessee. She'll play a little rhythm, do the boogie upright, a Tennessee polka, maybe blues in the night. Everybody travels from near and far to hear her when she swings it on that old guitar. She's my music maker mama from Memphis, Tennessee.